Hello everyone! Today I'm doing something a little bit different, I guess. Though my variety content is full of different things. But today I'm reviewing a comic book. The Joker's Boner comic. Infamous for overusing the word boner, which, at the time it was written, meant a blunder. And nowadays it means something very different. Now, the comic itself is properly called The Joker's Comedy of Errors, which is a pretty fitting name. And while boner means something very different in the modern day than it did back then, depicting the Joker as a massive phallic object certainly doesn't help things. Now, I haven't seen any proper reviews of this comic, despite it being pretty infamous on the internet, or at least relatively infamous. So, I guess I'll probably be like, maybe one of the first, I don't know. Now, narration time. You've probably committed some boners in your time. Most everybody has. Even the women? Wow, there's a lot of foodies in this world. History is full of the mistakes of man. Oh, okay, so they weren't talking about the women there. None of which never could be written off. And some which boomeranged into deeds of good fortune. But only a sense of humors like the Joker's could think of translating boners into crimes. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in prison for translating their boners into crimes. And when the Clown Prince of Crookdom sets out to recreate the classic errors of history for personal gain, and in addition readies a special boner just for Batman. The fanfiction writers probably love this book. It all adds up to one of the most exciting adventures ever to befall the dynamic duo in the story called The Joker's Comedy of Errors. And here, we see some of the classic boners of history. Like Columbus, who set out for India and discovered America. Which, well, I guess it was quite a good fortunate deed for the Spanish. Not so much for the people who lived in America. Let's see. Baseball's classic boner, I have no idea what that is. Reserved for Batman's folly. Ah, looks like the museum. Oh, no, wait, that's the Joker's collection of the great boners. Well, yeah, considering some of the things Columbus got up to, yeah, boner crime is very appropriate for depicting him in the Native Americas. One evening, a strange figure emerges from the shadows in downtown city. The figure of the Joker, Clown Prince of Crime. I see calling him the Clown Prince of Crime goes all the way back to early Batman comics. Into the basement with you, Bragg! You know where the fuse box is! Give us 10 minutes, then pull the fuses! Ha 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 ha! Right, Joker! And in the building, only the Joker would think of robbing the electric company by turning out the lights! Come on, men! We'll ride the elevator! Yes, we'll ride in style, in the elevator! They'll be surprised when the lights go out. We'll get their payroll easy. A moment later, the 24th floor, my man, and make it quick. Ha ha ha. Do what he says, buddy, or else. He says to that guy who I presume is the elevator operator because back then buildings had those. Then, as the Joker puts his plan into operation, the lights went out. Help, we're being robbed. It's the Joker. Call the police. Ha ha. Imagine the electric company without lights, and by the time the police show up, I'll be well on the way to the hideout. Quick, into the elevator. We caught them flat-footed, just as planned, ha-ha! But then, how do you expect this elevator to move? You cut off all the electricity. What a fool I've been! How could I blunder so? Hurry, men, we must use the stairs. Now, I kinda actually like some of the paneling in here. So, it's yellow in here to indicate that the lights are still on and the elevator hasn't gone out yet. Hence why the Joker is able to take it up in the first place. But yeah, and once again, they said give us 10 minutes, then pull the fuses to that guy. So it indicates that the Joker is there, but the guys pulled the fuses by the time they get back to the elevator. And yeah, Joker, this is a really big fuck-up on your end. Well, at least you're smart enough to realize it. And as the Clown Prince of Crime and his men race towards safety...
Well, Joker, looks like you stepped into something this time.
Yeah, I think that the least fitting voice for the Adam West style hijinks of this era's Batman is the Batman... the Batman Begins in the Dark Knight voice. So I'm going to use that, at least until my throat destroys itself. Look out! It's those pests! Batman and Robin!
I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to bump into you again, Joker.
Don't grow, Batman! You haven't caught me yet! I gotta say, Batman's talking about the pleasure of bumping into Joker into his boner comic. A shame that he did, but, well, I don't know what point I was making with this. Suddenly, the Joker makes a desperate move.
He threw a match into some chemicals used for film processing. This whole building will go up in flames.
And what voice should I use for Robin? Can I make him sound like Beavis? I don't...
But he's getting away, and so are his men.
Yeah, that voice isn't fitting at all.
Let him go. We got to save the people trapped upstairs. Besides, he didn't accomplish anything. He fled without his loot.
Yeah, he really blundered this time.
You see, both Robin and the Joker agree with me that boner and blunder were synonymous in this era. And next day, Joker pulls Boner of the Year. Perfect crime fizzles when Cloud Prince ruins own getaway chances. Batman and Robin recover all loot. Other famous all-time boners. Okay, this is... Yeah, like... The memes, the boner saying... Kinda give a weird impression, but this is actually a really good setup for this comic book. Meanwhile, at the Joker's hideout,
so, they laugh at my boner, will they? I'll show them how many boners the Joker can make.
Oh no, the Joker's gonna be a gay stripper.
This emphasis on boners has given me an idea for a new adventure in crime.
Gotham City will rue the day it mentioned the word boner. So the Joker decides to reenact historical boners. So the first thing he does is gets a couple of goons and invades Russia in the middle of winter. After escaping from the Gulag, he goes back to the United States and becomes a senator. Then he overuses the filibuster to the point where everyone hates him and causes his enemies to team up against him. After that, he goes to Italy, beats the Italian army in a battle, but loses so many men that he can't fight anymore. And then he goes over to Sicily to fight someone else. Loses so many men that this battle is as good as a defeat. And then goes over to Sicily to fight someone else before consolidating his army in Rome. Before consolidating his gains in Rome. A few nights later, on the banks of the Gotham River, and yes, the Joker was able to pull all this off on a few nights. He is a very fast man. I will take the great boners of all time and turn them into crimes. See this picture? It shows a big boner of modern vintage. Damn it, Joker. I'm pretty sure your men can sue you for sexual harassment for this.
I remember. That's the Missouri, the battleship that got stuck in the mud.
The world roared when this mighty battle wagon ran aground. You think that's something? Wait till you see what the Australian Navy did recently. It was quite a boner. We'll recreate this scene for loot. Ha ha! Moments later... Let's see, what is that guy? We'll just change the buoys in the Gotham River. And when the SS Cape Townia arrives tomorrow, the fun will begin. Ha!
Yeah, that's a new ship on the maiden run. The captain ain't familiar with this river at all, and the pilot don't come aboard until they near the harbor downstream.
Early next morning...
Ha! Look at her! Grounded, just like the Big Mo was.
Ah! Our little plan worked! Hurry! There's a fortune in diamonds aboard! And in the confusion, we'll have no trouble with the crew. Gotham Gazette. Next day. Gotham Gazette. Stung by his boner, because apparently it also acts like a scorpion, Joker lasts his back.
Loot stalled liner. Large diamond collected stolen. First boner crime. The Joker flashed a dozen people on board. Meanwhile,
the famed Leaning Tower of Pisa, one of the great architectural boners in history.
It certainly is phallic enough to look like one.
Faculty foundation work and miscalculations almost caused it to topple.
Oh wait, I think he said faulty. Oh well.
But how you gonna use this to pull a job, boss?
In answer, the Joker takes his men on a wild ride through the country, and then...
Why, this is that oil magnate joint, King Stanley's castle. He had it transplanted stone by stone from Europe.
Ha, correct! And now he's building a bell tower, which we're going to turn into a Leaning Tower of Pisa. Ha ha!
That night, under the cover of darkness...
Ha ha! Now to do a little undermining without anyone being the wiser. Dig, men, and we'll see how this tower will lean after the first rainstorm.
Yeah, and remember to cover up our work, so no one spots the digging. We'll haul all the dirt away.
I've gotta say, Joker's men are pretty patient, waiting a week later after a heavy rain to carry out their crime. The Joker has some pretty good hiring policies. Also, I guess he's pretty good timing considering how it's during the rainy season, but I suppose Joker could have just taken advantage of that.
Oh, King Stanley bragged that no one could scale his wall and rob his castle, but he didn't bargain on the Joker and his boner crimes.
Looks like Joker's men climbed all the way up his boner to get on that wall.
You sure made the tower lean all right, Joker. And this rope will help us get out the way we came.
The next day, headlines report the Crime Comics' latest coup. Joker stages another boner crime. Joker creates his own Tower of Pisa to rob King Stanley's castle. Joker claims last laugh. Yeah, it's a good thing that these people noticed the Leaning Tower of Pisa reference. And again, I guess it's pretty obvious. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints with the plot of the comic itself. Meanwhile, in the home of socialite Bruce Wayne and his young ward, Dick Grayson...
Not a clue what Stanley...
Wait, no, that's the Minion voice.
Not a clue what Stanley's...
No, wait, did I get the Minion voice? Wait, okay, Beavis voice.
Not a clue what Stanley's castle that will lead us to Joker's new hideout.
Nevertheless, we must keep on searching. By the way, Commissioner Gordon reminded me tonight that we've got to fly to the coast next month to test fly the Burke trial. Make a note of it. Because in addition to fighting crime, I apparently test fly airplanes. Suddenly, a harsh voice drowns out the music on the radio.
Ah, yes, this is the Joker. How do you like my boner crimes, eh? Who's laughing now?
It's the Joker, using his powerful transmissions to drown out all stations. We might be able to trace his sending beam right to his hideout.
Moments later, in the Batcave, the two manhunters put their directional finder into use. Haha, yes, there are more boner crimes to come. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to be able to get rid of those. Not until we all become robots or something.
But more important, soon Batman will make the boner of the year. Ha ha ha! I, the Joker, will arrange for Batman to become the laughingstock of Gotham. Ha ha ha! In order to make him have the boner of the year, I took naked pictures of Catwoman. They will be mailed to wherever Batman lives whenever I find that out. What do you mean, Bruce? No, sorry.
What do you mean, Bruce?
That's the Beavis voice.
What do you mean, Bruce? How would he force you into a boner?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's not like you can control when you get them. They're pretty much just a bodily function. But whatever it isn't good, that's for sure. Well, I mean, depends on what you're using them for, I suppose. And later, there's only one thing to do. We've got to get to the Joker before he can get to us. We're going to take naked pictures of Harley Quinn. Let's continue our study of the great boners of all time. Yes, we had to cover a lot of gay porn for this. And try to guess the Joker's next move. Meanwhile...
Oh, look at this gun, men! It's made out of wood! Mr. Fantastic used it to trick Magneto!
Are you ready for another boner crime, Joker?
Yes, Dillinger, public enemy number 1, made his daring break from jail with a wooden pistol just like this. The guard who fell for it committed a glaring boner.
I get it. We're gonna use the same gimmick to spring our buddy Danny from the pen.
But why take any chances, boss? Why not smuggle in a real gun? Well, I'm worried that Magneto will show up and I need something to trick him with. Oh, because it would never get past the metal detectors in the pen. That too. And don't worry, the Joker isn't taking any chances. A week later at the state penitentiary.
This dot means business, Clancy. I'm getting out. Throw me the keys.
Nobody could smuggle a gun in here. You're probably using an old Dillinger ruse, a wooden gun. All at once.
Wooden, huh? Does this sound like wood, Clancy?
Clang! Come on, the keys before I blast you out of this world. Golly, it is a real gun. That evening at the Joker's hideout.
It worked neat, Joker. When the guard guessed it might be a wooden gun, I threw him off with that trick you wrote me, banging my ring against the bars and making him believe it was the gun.
Ah, excellent! I think I'll send this gun to Commissioner Gordon with my compliments. Ho! Okay, yeah, you know what? That's really clever, and you can actually see the ring right there. Now, I don't know if they would have let a prisoner keep their ring in the prison, or especially since certain things that could help them escape could be put in it. But I don't know enough about that time period to know if it would be weird enough to break suspension of disbelief. Next day, now what voice does Gordon have? I don't think he has an Irish accent. You know what? Scottish accent, yes.
Batman, we've got to stop the Joker.
Or is that Austrian?
Those boner crimes are making us look bad, and I'm worried about the boner he's readying for you. Then again, we could probably lock him away if we convicted him of rape.
Don't worry, Commissioner. I've always been able to outguess the Joker in the past. We'll catch up to him soon. A few days later, Dick, this new movie, Greek Victory, is being filmed here. I think it may lead us to the Joker. Look.
How in the world can a movie lead us to the Joker?
They built a duplicate of the wooden horse of Troy for the movie. I think the Joker will go for it. It represents one of the classic boners of all time. Yeah, in a very dark way considering what the Greeks did when they got into that city.
I remember. The Greeks left it on the shores of Troy as a gift. The Trojans fell for it. Dumbass. Made the boner of dragging it inside their walls. The Greek soldiers, hidden inside, stole out at night and opened the city's gates. The Greeks stormed in and Troy fell. At that very moment, oh, you make admirable Greek soldiers, men, and soon our own little Troy will fall. I don't get... No, what voice was I using for this guy again? I don't get it, Joker. Why go to all this trouble to sneak inside a wooden horse? They stashed that horse away at night in the big United warehouse. There's a fortune in furs in that warehouse that I've been eyeing for a long time. Great, Joker. That warehouse is guarded heavily day and night. This horse gag is terrific. We can get in and bring the furs out without being seen. Soon after, they'll be finished with... Wait, was it? Is that... Yeah, I can't tell who's saying what, so I guess these both are goons. They'll be finished with shooting. They'll sure be finished with shooting for the day. We'll go out and mingle with the extras. There's so many of them, we'll never be spotted. Yeah, and when you give the signal, we'll sneak into that horse. And then we'll let them drag us into the warehouse. Later that night in the darkened warehouse. Shh! Quiet, men! We don't want to tip off our whereabouts! What a hole, Joker! And what a boner these movie people will make when they pull this horse out of here tomorrow morning! Ah, the boner comic is talking about pulling out. But, early the next day... Hold it! Have you checked inside of that horse? Check the inside? What would be there? Oh, hey, Batman, it's only a movie, remember? Confound it! Batman is on to me. I've got to get out of here. Then, they're robbing atop the horse. Let's go. Well, what do you know? No, wait. That voice actually kind of fits him.
Well, what do you know? Modern gangsters dressed as Greek soldiers.
The Greeks have a word for it. Wait.
Attack! We've got him outnumbered! Ugh!
The Greeks had a word for it, Joker. Finished. I mean you.
Was finished even a word in ancient Greeks? Probably not. Then, a bad break as Robin's foot hits a spot of grease.
Ah! Grease! Batman! I'm Grease! I'm losing my footing!
Hold on, I'm coming.
How could I be so clumsy? How the Joker escaped us again?
Never mind. It couldn't happen to anyone. Besides, I'm sure we put another crimp in the Joker's plans. This horse should be loaded with loot.
Later,
And the Joker's newest boner crime was foiled by the alert action of Batman and Robin. Bah! Confound that Batman! It is well that I am ready to trick him into his boner. Then the tables will be turned.
how are you gonna get Batman, Joker?
Ah! Next week, Batman flies to the coast to testify. This powerful directional beam transmitter will cause him to fly the wrong way. He'll be another wrong way Corrigan. Oh! Which, by the way, Corrigan flew his flight intentionally despite not being allowed to. So, well, bit of foreshadowing if you know the real story. And the next week atop the headquarters, take care of yourself, Batman! This is bad flying weather.
So long, Commissioner. We'll be back in a few days.
God, I hope it's good thing this comic is almost over, otherwise this Batman voice would kill me. How the hell did that actor do that? At that moment,
Ceiling 0, perfect! Instead of landing in California, Batman will end up in Europe. Oh, what the papers will do to him.
moments later,
Can't see a thing, Robin. We'll have to fly by instruments. Set the pilot to automatic.
Right.
The next morning along the coast of England,
I say, what a sort of strange craft you make that out to be. Blimey, if it ain't the Batplane. Now what in the world is that Batman fellow doing in these parts?
and when the plane lands near London,
We heard you were coming, Batman. Wireless is full of it. They're taking on you another long way Corrigan. What's your statement?
No statement. We're going back to the States as soon as possible.
meanwhile, back in Gotham City, wrong way Batman, Batman's greatest boner. Catwoman is angry that she wasn't there to see it. Joker's threat comes true, makes fool of Batman, aims for California, ends up in England. And on the city streets, wrong way Batman, boy, he'll never be able to live that down. The Jokers are made to sap out Batman, I never thought it could be done. And in his hideout, the Joker can scarcely contain himself.
Oh, wrong way Batman. My plan worked like a charm. The whole world is laughing at Batman. His reputation and he himself are destroyed. Ha ha. Yes, I think that Batman making one mistake will be enough to get him to stop bothering me forever.
The next day, as the Batplane returns to Gotham City and alights the police headquarters, Batman, the Gotham Blade would like to hear your side of the story. What do you have to say?
Sorry, boys, but I've got to see Commissioner Gordon right away.
Huh? What could he say? I tell you, he's become a national joke. Meanwhile, a gala celebration is being held in the Joker's hideout.
Oh, I drink to the end of Batman. Ha! Wrong way Batman. I still can't get over it.
You're here. All at once.
My, what a party. Trust we aren't interrupting anything, Joker.
Don't move anyone, my finger is just itching. But how did you find my new hideout? I took such pains to conceal it.
You committed a boner, Joker. You were so busy forcing me into a boner, you forgot you were committing one yourself. We knew that you were transmitting the directional beam that forced us off course. By using our directional finder, we were able to pinpoint its source, this hideout.
Actually, the Batplane could have shaken off that beam. The only reason we flew all the way to England was that we needed the time and a series of readings to plot the directions of your beam.
Next day at the city jail, our city and our nation owe you an apology, Batman. Actually, they committed the greatest boner of all by losing faith in you.
Ah! Thank you, Batman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's hope we got the last of things like Joners and Jokers.
And this comic book? Okay, it's actually pretty good. It's a typical comic book of its time, but also very well done.
So, like the like it's not necessarily anything groundbreaking or genius, but I think it's pretty good. Like it's set up correctly, like it's set up well. The twist makes sense, and then also and like it's entertaining to read even without the modern humor. So yeah, I actually kind of recommend it. Just replace Boner with Blunder, I guess. Thank you for watching, everyone, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe.